দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক আরটিভির বিশেষ অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোনে। আপনাদের সঙ্গে আছি আমি সৈয়দ আশিক রহমান। আমাদের আজকের অতিথি বাংলাদেশে নিযুক্ত কানাডিয়ান হাই কমিশনার হিজ এক্সেলেন্সি Benoît-Pierre Laramée। Welcome, Excellency, at RTV studio.
Thank you, Donobert. Assalamu alaikum. I'm quite happy to be here.
Oh, even you speak a bit Bengali.
No,
Surprise.
Just a few words just to help improving the contact with the people.
Great, great. As we know, you are serving as High Commissioner of Canada to Dhaka, Bangladesh. Would you please share your experience with us?
Thank you. Well, first of all, I would like to thanking RTV and Diplomatic Zone to give me the chance to talk to you and to also have access to to the people who are watching you on TV.
We are honored. We are honored to have you here in our studio.
I think that your very hospitable welcome is at the level of what I have seen in the country for the past year. This is something that I discovered. I discovered this richness, of Bangladeshi, and I had the chance, and this is where the first thing I want to do. I want to thank Bangladeshi that I met from all the different sectors. Bangladeshi either from the government, politicians, business people, but also Bangladeshi in the village where I had the chance to go to meet with them, to listen to them. And also, of course, my team.
Well, you visited different villages.
Yes, I went to different regions, up to Sylhet, Mongol, this area, to see development assistance project. I went to Cox's Bazar also. What I noticed during that year, the first thing I noticed is certainly the sort of two faces of Bangladesh. On one side, you go in the old Dhaka, you have got this rich culture, this openness to different religion. And on the other side, you've got a very modern Dhaka that could be exemplified by the Jamuna Park Center, for instance, which is one of the largest shopping mall center in the world, very modern. That's one thing that struck me. Second thing I would say is the Bangladeshi people themselves, their drive, they are so powerful. When you talk with a young boy or a young girl that is 3 or 4 years old, she'll look at you in the eyes, and then she can say her name without hesitation, without shyness. This is very important because this is the future of Bangladesh.
Exactly.
And you feel all this potential. And of course, the last thing is this connection to Canada. So many people telling me, oh, I have a relative, I have someone in Canada.
Our big community is living over there.
Yeah, so these are the key point that I noticed during that first year.
We are celebrating 44 years of diplomatic ties between Bangladesh and Canada. Would you please comment on that?
Yes, I'm always very happy to say that Canada was one of the first countries to recognize Bangladesh after the Liberation War. Canada was also one of the first countries to provide development assistance, and since that time, we have been providing more than $4 billion to Bangladesh. But you see, this is evolving. Bangladesh has evolved so much since it became a country, that our relationship is also evolving. So it's moving from development assistance focus to much more an economic trade, mutually benefiting relationship.
So what is the impression of Bangladesh?
You know, you must just be impressed by the achievement of Bangladesh. First, on the social front, you've seen the MDGs indicator. You can see the life expectancy, that is now more than 70 years old. You look at the infant mortality. You look at the ratio for the number of children per woman that went from 7 to 2. These are, in a very short period of time, major achievement. I can talk also about the economy. Which economy in the world has growth over steadily over 5% for 20 years. There are not very many, and now it is becoming a large economy. This evolution is the place of the ready-made garment sector. This is important not only in terms of what it has brought in terms of the economy, but also in terms of empowering the people. There are more than 4 million women working in this, and it's also empowering the owner of this factory because they are now learning how to compete in the global market.
Well,
which means that it's opening all the door, and it's enabling Bangladesh to compete in this global market.
your finding is very good. Thanks for that said.
I don't know. This is just my reflection.
Great to know. Well, Excellency, what are the priorities areas that Canada desires Bangladesh to improve?
Well, I will be very humble on this. We are equal partner. We are working. We are working in a, as I mentioned to you already, in a partnership. So I think that what we want to do as Canada is being able to contribute to the 7 5-year plan of Bangladesh, which is the direction, the Vision 2021 of the government, which is saying that in 5 years it's going to become a middle-income country. And we want to do it now. We are doing it in the health, in the education sector, in the economic growth sector. And on this, we want to do it. The pillar of this, we believe, are certainly the strengthening of the Bangladesh institution. And on this, I can talk of the work we're doing in improving the public financial management, improving also the quality and the number of inspectors in the garment sector. It's also based on human rights. And on human rights, we're working to improve the access, improve the labor right access, as well as working on combating child early forced marriage.
What are the interesting trade sectors between Canada and Bangladesh and the untapped areas to work?
This is a very interesting question. This is a question that is really also at the heart of our relationship. You know, existing at this point, you know that this past year we passed for the first time the bar of $2 billion in trade between Canada and Bangladesh. This is a huge number when you think about that. Of this, 1.3 billion is of export to Canada from Bangladesh, and 700 million import from Canada to Bangladesh. Those imports are mostly in the agro-food product,
agriculture product.
What untapped area? There are numerous. The first one that we can say is the ICT sector.
ICT sector.
You know, Canada. This is an industry worth more than $155 billion in Canada. $55 billion. This is what it is generating in Canada every year. So we have more than 30,000 enterprises there.
30,000 enterprises
working in this sector. So you can imagine what it can bring to this diverse state that it can bring to Bangladesh. Those exchange and
it's a big future for.
I see big future in
for
this.
ICT.
Blue economy. This is a major. This is an important factor for Bangladesh. Canada is surrounded by 3 oceans.
Exactly.
We must certainly have some expertise in this.
Exactly.
And the last one, I would say this is something that is coming more and more important for us, is the question of clean technology.
Great. Canadian development assistance to Bangladesh is increasing. Do you foresee any changes as regards direction and priorities of Canadian assistance?
I think that I would just like to mention to you that 2 years ago in 2014, Canada reaffirmed that Bangladesh is remaining a country of focus for development assistance. So it means that last year, Canada disbursed around $80 million Canadian in Bangladesh in terms of development assistance. Now, you're asking me about some changes or where it's heading to. From a Canadian perspective on one side, we have a new government, and this new government has clearly mentioned that that climate change is a priority. And especially within it has mentioned 5 key principles. One of the key principles is that we must pay special attention to the most vulnerable and developing country.
Right.
And as an example of that, Canada pledged $2.65 billion globally to support those. So that's one part. The second part is the Bangladesh priorities and its own evolution. How can we take that into consideration for future priority? Those are expressed in the 7 years plan, and the fact also that Bangladesh is becoming a middle-income country. So our development assistance must be there to support this transition. To become a middle-income country.
Great to know. Thank you very much. Well, Excellency, it is said that Bangladesh is an ideal destination for FDI. How do you think Bangladesh should proceed to attract Canadian development investment?
We're talking about infrastructure, about access to energy. We're talking about the business environment. And the final one on which people are more and more talking about is the question of skills.
Okay.
You know that this is a striking number. For instance, Bangladesh received around $50 billion of remittance from outside. But it also, there are $5 billion of remittance going out of Bangladesh. And these remittance comes from middle manager mostly, coming from other countries. Because Bangladesh doesn't have these skills. So it's everyone recognize that. We must develop it. We must strengthen it.
Great findings. Thank you very much. Well, Excellency, we'll talk more after a short break.
Thank you.
দর্শক দেখছেন আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক আরটিভির বিশেষ অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোন। এই পর্যায়ে নিচ্ছি বিরতি, ফিরছি একটু পরেই। সে পর্যন্ত আমাদের সাথেই থাকুন। দর্শক, আবারও আমন্ত্রণ আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক আরটিভির বিশেষ অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোনে। কথা বলছিলাম বাংলাদেশে নিযুক্ত কানাডিয়ান হাই কমিশনার হিজ এক্সেলেন্সি বেনোয়া পিয়ের লাগামের সঙ্গে। এভরি ইয়ার এ লার্জ নাম্বার অফ স্টুডেন্টস আর গোয়িং টু কানাডা ফর দেয়ার হায়ার এডুকেশন। How does Canadian High Commission to Dhaka to promote students?
This is one part, a very important part of our programming here. So we have a specific program that has been designed for this. We have one person working full-time for this. So that person is dedicated to this. So we are holding seminar at the High Commission. We are doing also some outreach in the school, not only here in Dhaka, but also elsewhere in Bangladesh, in Sylhet, in Chittagong. Another way also to interact with the people is that we promote it on our webpage, but also we have developed during the past year a Facebook page. We see it as a way to interact with the people, to attract the people also. So I encourage anyone who wants to have some information about studying in Canada to look at our Facebook page.
It's a great initiative, and I believe this is the fastest way
to get access to this information. I know that in Bangladesh people are quite savvy using Facebook, so this is a good way to get that information.
Exactly, and you will happy to know that RTV is the highest among the TV media's highest Facebook friends. It's almost 6 million.
6 million. Okay, we are quite far. We are quite far.
But maybe you will come fast because students and young people, they have lots of interest on education in Canada.
I think so, and we have a lot to offer. It continues to help build this people-to-people connection that will strengthen our bilateral relationship.
Mr. Benoît-Pierre, Canadian government in partnership with other donor agencies assist Bangladesh in the field of governance, education, health and other sectors. Do you think that substantial changes have occurred in these areas?
If you look in the under the MDGs,
MDGs.
yes, you can see this improved access to education, to health, and now the next step is to move to the quality level. For instance, you have a very small number of children have access to school, but we know by example that some of them have difficulty succeeding in certain matter. For instance, in mathematics, they have certain levels of difficulty. So it's related to the quality.
Right.
So these are the success. Some parts are still missing. We know that there are still some issue related to nutrition. The stunting is still very high. So there are these issues that relate to MDG. Just a few. If you look in economic growth, we have seen, this is something that I have observed because Canada has contributed directly to this. It's all the building of the inspector of the Directorate of the Inspection of Factory and Establishment, the increasing number, their quality, and their capacity in doing these inspections. And third, the most for me, which is the key one, a key indicator, is the implementation of the reform in the RMG sector. This sector in the past three years has been going through an incredible changes. You have seen this change that occur into being more compliant to international standard for safety, security, and labor rights. And Canada has been supporting this quite heavily into development assistance project, also into working with the government as a partner in a mechanism that is called 3+5. But also 2 weeks ago, Canada announced that it joins the Sustainability Compact with the US and European Union, which is a mechanism where both partners share their view on these fundamental issues of security, safety, and labor rights. And it's the future of the economy of Bangladesh. You know, if Bangladesh wants to compete in the international level, in the global economy, it has to reach to these international standards.
We are almost end of the program, and what do you hope to achieve during your tenure as the High Commissioner of Canada in Bangladesh?
Well, this is the dream, you know, my dream.
It is your dream.
Yes.
It is our dream.
Yes. You know, I see Bangladesh as moving very quickly. This is a country in transition. This is a moving country, and my dream is to see this partnership between Bangladesh being strengthened, working hand in hand to achieve it.
Well, where would you want to see Bangladesh after 10 years?
Oh, 10 years. Well, first I hope it will have reached its level of middle income country. I hope it will be certainly able to deal and to cope with climate change. I hope that Bangladesh will achieve it within a stable and secure environment. And finally, I hope that all this development will benefit to everyone, that it will be an inclusive development. An inclusive development meaning strengthening the rule of law, strengthening the human right, having gender equality, and also that every Bangladeshi feels that they are freely able to express their own opinion, their own will.
Great.
And if I may add, what I'm saying, it's what I hear from Bangladeshi too.
Fantastic. Well, Excellency, any final thoughts you want to share with our viewers?
Yes, perhaps a last one. You know, you may think I'm talking a lot about these.
Excellency.
I will finish like I have started with this relationship with these people. I have seen so much warmth, so much welcoming, so much hospitality from the Bangladeshi that I just want to see them, but all of them taking benefit of these development. And one specific issue is the question of women. Here I have seen women that are the most accomplished women in the world. You know, it starts with the Prime Minister. I met also with the best woman cricketer in the world.
Exactly.
She's Bangladeshi. And
our speaker. And I want also to include the 4 million workers in the garment sector that are women. So I just hope that all this potential is being unleashed, that all these women can participate, contribute, and benefit from this development. Great. Thank you very much for your
Thank you again
message.
To yourself, to RTV, to Diplomatic Zone. In a few days, we will be celebrating our 44th anniversary of diplomatic relationship.
Ties. Well,
So thank you very much. I think it's a great timing.
Well, Excellency, thank you very much. Thank you sharing your view with us. And we wish you good health and prosperity and lots of good things in coming days. Your dream here. And I hope to see you again in different interview.
Thank you very much. I'd be quite happy to participate. As I said, this is my first interview on
Great.
TV
I'm
in
happy.
Bangladesh.
And I'm lucky that I'm taking your first interview.
So we have a special relationship now.
A special relationship. This is the, I can tell, this is the milestone and it started to move.
Thank you.
দর্শক, বাংলাদেশ এবং কানাডার মধ্যে রয়েছে ঐতিহাসিক এবং ঐতিহ্যবাহী সম্পর্ক। গেল 4 দশকে দুই দেশের মধ্যে দ্বিপাক্ষিক সহযোগিতা বৃদ্ধি পেয়েছে উল্লেখযোগ্য হারে। এছাড়া বাণিজ্য সম্প্রসারণে কানাডিয়ান হাই কমিশনের ভূমিকা আমাদের আশান্বিত করে, যা ভবিষ্যতে বাংলাদেশের অর্থনৈতিক উন্নয়নে ভূমিকা রাখবে বলেই বিশ্বাস। এই প্রত্যাশায় শেষ করছি আজকের ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোন। এতক্ষণ আমাদের সঙ্গে থাকার জন্য ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে।